Hey, welcome to Crpyto BS. I'm Al.
And I'm Craig.
And we just want to welcome you guys to our podcast that pretty much revolves around the life of crypto and crypto investing. So what we have set up for ourselves is a little crypto challenge between myself and Craig, and we hope you guys stick around to follow along with us. So here's basically the challenge. Craig and I will each allocate $100 a week to our trading accounts, with the intent of growing it to $100,000. I feel like this is a realistic amount of money that if you folks back home would like to follow along and do it on your own, by all means go ahead, but this is not crypto advice for you to take seriously, and that we are only entertainers. This is not for any financial purposes other than having a little bit of fun. So for our listeners who choose to participate in your own version, have at it. But once the money's in the account, there are no rules. We can long it, short it, farm it, stake it, leverage it, or hold it on the sidelines. But the first one to 100K wins. And like I said, it's just $100 a week. So just kind of a side note here is Craig is usually the conservative one, and I'm usually the risk taker. Our strategies in general may be somewhat similar, but our approach is different most of the time. Our show centers on the different approaches to this challenge, but we will discuss market news and other relevant news and give our analysis of the market. So, Craig, what are you going to look at here for week one of our challenge?
Well, buddy, there's some weird stuff going on in the market right now. I don't like what's going on with Luna. Let's head over to Luna real quick, because I know we've talked about this off of the podcast a lot lately, where Luna's been blowing up. Luna's been blowing up a lot. And if I could remember how to zoom in here, that would be great. There we go. Alan, not more than 4 days ago, Luna was at 0.00006. was its price. And we're looking at, instead of 6, make that a 14, and as high as almost 16. So we have almost 2.5x'd in 4 days. And I don't like it, because meanwhile, everything else is going down.
Well, so, there was a little bit of news on Luna with this Starship Optimus metaverse deal that they got going on, where they're going to be accepting that as payment within the game. But while the game sounds like it'd be really cool, it's powered by Unreal engines and all that, which is usually a pretty good backer for games. But man, I don't know. I don't want any part of it. It's as hectic as the market is right now. I don't believe in it. I'm just not a believer.
I'm not a believer either, but another incident that happened not long before that was with Matic. Not too long ago, Matic was down as low as 0.32. Is it about 32 cents-ish? And we watched that run up to about 62 cents over a 6-day period.
I was thinking it was about 5 or 6 days, yeah.
And while I like Matic, and I believe in Matic long term, especially just with its success on being a fast, just alternative to an Ethereum blockchain, I don't see anything like that with Luna. I don't understand it. It's almost like the Dogecoin and Shiba coin pumps that we get every time Elon puts out a tweet. I don't like it. But when we're looking at the rest of the market, when we're looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, we got Bitcoin dipping below 20,000 again earlier today. And we have Ethereum going below 1,100 again earlier today. So what are your thoughts on that? What do you feel about the overall market sentiment and the levels that we're at right now?
So we've been through these bear markets before. This isn't new to us. What we've got to do is we've got to remember what it was like. And when we're getting these news pumps that run these up, it tends to be real short. And Matic is an example of that. Like 5 or 6 days, it's run up. It's almost back down to where it was. It's down to where it was 4 or 5 days ago. So it's hit its stride. I think that if you're interested in this one, then obviously short's going to be the way to go. But it's trying to catch it. And I think easing into a short here is a very valid option.
So as the more conservative of the two of us, that is less optimistic about my odds anytime I get into a margin trade, whether it be a long or a short, you know, what I'm hearing from you on your perspective is you would rather hold all your stuff on the side than to buy in directly into one of these cryptocurrencies today.
Oh, I'm not buying anything long right now. There's way too much negative sentiment in the news altogether. I mean, if we're looking at the market, we've got all of these platforms that are they're sucking it up right now. You got Babel Finance, CoinFlex, Celsius, Voyager, and Three Arrows, and you got all these different elements that are involved with crypto that are just getting crushed right now. And you know, it hasn't all shaken out yet. The Three Arrows deal, they're getting liquidated as we speak right now. So it's probably where some of this pullback is coming from, is some of that liquidation actually hitting the market now. But in addition to that, we've got the regular market news. We've got the core PCE numbers for inflation will be coming out tomorrow. Consumer spending, disposable income, jobless claims, all of those will be hitting in the next day or two. In addition to that, we've got the Grayscale numbers are going to be coming out, whether or not they're going to finally, for the love of Pete, for one thing ever, would an ETF finally hit. Is that going to happen on July the 6th or not? That's kind of what we're waiting on as well. So we've got some shoes we're still kind of waiting on to drop. You've got Binance US and Coinbase both getting wrangled into some lawsuits over the Terra Luna deal. Coinbase got downgraded by Goldman Sachs. So there's more things that are happening in the market that are going to be affecting this. And I don't see a whole lot of positive. These sparks of positivity are where you're getting these run-ups, these quick spikes, but I don't see anything long-term that makes me want to buy and hold anything. If I had to do one that I was going to buy and hold, you got to go with Bitcoin, because it's the one that's going to be around it. I don't think the pullback for it is going to be as bad as what everyone is expecting, or for the alts for that matter. So yeah, I'm not looking for anything in the long term.
Okay, well, with that, how about we get into our first $100? Our week one investments, whether we invest or not, I guess the answer will reveal, but I'll go ahead and start. We've talked a bit about shorting stuff outside the podcast, and I don't want to do it. I refuse to do it right now. So I'm looking at, what do I do with this $100? Do I keep it on the sideline, or do I put it into something? And mind you, I am a little bit of a gambling man, and I want to put it into something. And you talked about the sparks of good news that light these short-term jumps in some of these tokens. And what I'm taking some of that as is people want to put their faith in Bitcoin. They want something to put it in. They're just looking for any sort of flag to say, hey, now's the time. And unfortunately, I think some of this stuff may be misguided, especially on stuff like Luna Classic, who most people have no faith in. But I do take it as a sign that people are wanting to get into Bitcoin at the right level with the right news. I said Bitcoin, but I mean cryptocurrency in general. But that is to say, I'm looking to put my first $100 just straight into Bitcoin. I think you're right. I think it'll last longer than everything else. I don't see it going away ever, or if at all, it won't be soon. And it has continuously been just dipping below this 20 grand and coming right back up. It did have a pretty sharp drop a while back where it touched into the 17s, but it quickly rejected that. I feel safe at 20, and I feel like if anything does come out, if there's any news, even remotely positive, it will go up. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for that news, I will continue to just dollar cost average my way in, straight into the big boy, Bitcoin.
Okay. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that this is a bad price at all to get at Bitcoin. And, you know, like you said, in the short term, it could run up to 21, 23. You could get out if you wanted to. It'd be a small gain. But again, it's only $100. Are you looking at leveraging this $100?
Not a chance. Not a chance in the world.
Craig, look. this is how we're going to make those big gains. I mean, this is a race to 100K off $100 a week. You're not going to make it there with just throwing a little measly $100 in and letting it sit in Bitcoin that is moving so everly slow.
You were correct, but in the rules of the challenge of only having the $100 a week, if I leverage long on Bitcoin now and there is a downside in the short term, I have nothing to reinvest to leverage against. So my leverage may only be 2 or 3x, sure. Or I could just dollar cost average my way down and then eventually leverage longer against that with a bigger position. But at $100, I'm not taking many chances. I'm building up the account right now somewhere other than USDT.
Well, with that $100 though, I mean, you're going to get another $100 next week to put in. So you swing and miss this week, it's not that big of a deal. You can make it back next week.
It only takes one day. It only takes one day for everything to go south. And you know that.
That is true. And, you know, how far really could we see Bitcoin coming down? Set your stop loss. And then just, hey, if it goes down 5%, take your $100 out and look for your next trade.
That is a good point. If you're going to put a margin trade out there where you're longing or shorting something, it is very important to find out your exit points on both sides, both when you're taking profit and the maximum you're willing to lose, and setting those limits and the stop limits. But no, I have a pretty solid idea of what I want to do. I'm just going to build up the bankroll the first few weeks, and instead of leaving the bankroll in USDT, I'll leave it in Bitcoin for now. Okay,
well, let me ask you this. Are you looking to ease in right now? Are you putting that in right now at somewhere close to 20,000, 20,100 or 19.9? Where are we at on this? Where do you have a specific entry that you're looking for to get in right now?
Well, before we started recording, it was down at 19.9. It was in the 19.9s, and we're back up to 20,100 plus. So, I mean, like I said, it doesn't like being below 20. So as close to 20 as I can get. I may wait for it to come back down because I could see it coming back down under 20 temporarily. So I'll probably put in a limit buy at 19,950 or so and expect to end up positive on it within the next hour after that.
Let me ask you this. Are you planning on exiting that position, or are you going to hold it indefinitely? Are you looking at clearing 5 or 10% and then getting out, or are you just going to let it sit there? And, you know, there's potential to stake it as well. And may only be a 0.5% right now as far as the staking goes, but that is an additional gain that would go towards winning the challenge.
Yeah, finding a place to stake it would definitely be something that I'm interested in. Yeah, in a flexible account, 0.5% is probably all I can ask for, so it's really not all that much, but it's more than nothing. As far as holding it indefinitely, I would be watching the RSI on this one. If it does have a day where some sparky news comes out and it wants to pump up a little bit and we get 15-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour candlesticks at RSI 60 plus, I'd expect it to come back down. And so I can sell out and buy back in and have more Bitcoin holding for the next pump.
Interesting. Well, I'm not quite as positive as you are in the market right now, but with Bitcoin, if I was going to long something, Bitcoin would be the one that I'd be looking at, but it'd be the only one. Yeah, for me, I'm not going that route. I've got a couple that I'm looking at that I'd be looking at for a short, but it's definitely dependent. I could short the Luna if it stays up here, if it hits that 15.8 again and pulls back from there, then that's something that I'm interested in. I'm kind of looking for a little double top there. But more so, Solana is one that I'm really looking at as a short. Now, I like Solana as a project, and I do like it long term. They've had some pretty decent news that's come out. They've got a phone that's coming out, like other projects in the past. I don't hold a lot to that, and that's not a reason for me to get into it, but it is a reason for me to think that it will continue on through this bear cycle. But what I am looking at is the close today on the daily close, if it'll close below 34, that is a reason for me to enter it. Right now, the RSI on it is fairly low, but I think it can go lower. And I think that a little bit more news that may come out today, or some of these other platforms that are getting liquidated that are holding salon, as some of that hits the market, we could be looking at a pullback. So I'm looking at it somewhere under 34, and right now we're not there, but we've been down in that zone earlier today, but I need that daily close to be there, not just a wick down. So it breaks under there, holds under the daily, then that's where I'm going to look at for an entry, and then somewhere maybe around 26 is my preliminary exit for it. So that's what I'm looking at, and I'm definitely considering leveraging that hundo, maybe 3x. I might get a little squirrely, go 5x.
Whoa, 5x.
Hey, listen, I can't win it or lose it on the first $100. That's not where the win comes from. But if I can 5x that, clip an extra 50 or 100, give me a little bit more ammo for the next week. Give me a little bit more leverage for the next week for the challenge. The faster I can get up to that $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 mark, then I'm leveraging $5,000 for 25. I can do some damage then. So, and I know. Quit looking at me like that. I can feel your look. I know that it's a little bit risky, and I'm not just going to go tiptoeing through the tulips here. Let's take some swings.
Well, with that, let's do some Would You Rather.
Ooh,
My
fire
favorite
away,
part.
fire away.
I've been looking to this all day.
All right, for the listeners out there, we haven't discussed the Would You Rather prior to us coming on there. So he's been mulling this around in his head for the majority of the day, waiting to come up with something good to get me with. So, all right, let's hear. What you got?
Okay, let's start with an easy one, I feel. In regards to your shorts, would you rather take the risk of shorting Luna Classic right now with the hype that's going on, knowing that it may continue up, but most likely not, and for how long, or short the hype that happened days ago on Shiba?
I'm shorting now.
Which one?
I know, on Luna, like right now. Let me short that now. I know Sheep's still up from the other day, right?
Mm-hmm. So the hype is gone, but the price is up.
No, give me something. I think a sharper pullback from a higher point would be better.
Okay.
Than taking the smaller percentage gain on Sheep.
Okay. Another Would You Rather that's not as easy. This will be my only other one for you. Would you rather, and this is straight buy. This is not short. This is not long. This is you buy and hold right now. Would you rather buy Kronos, aka Crow, or Matic? And I'll make the argument for both. The argument for Matic is that first, it has a larger market cap. It has utility in terms of being the best alternative, in my opinion, to Ethereum with the faster and cheaper costs. And with Kronos, they have more avenues of revenue for that cryptocurrency company than most cryptocurrencies out there today. They have their exchange platform. They have their NFT platform. They bought the Staples Arena not too long ago. If anything is about to go wide in the markets in terms of being able to purchase things with crypto, I think Crypto.com will be one of the first. They have their Visa cards. They have a lot. Which one do you have more faith in putting money into right now?
Man, this is tough. Because I've got another just complete sideways take on this with Crow. I don't think it would be out of the question for Crow to sneak in and try to buy some of those platforms that are failing. I think that's a completely viable option. I mean, we're seeing FTX is going at it right now, that is out there trying to purchase some of these ailing platforms. So why would Crow not try to go in and take over some of those members and those assets as well?
That's not a bad thought. I mean, I did not consider that.
I think it's plausible. I mean, I know it may be a little bit conspiracy theory, but I think that that's there. However, on the other side of it, is it possible that they too are ailing and they just haven't showed the signs yet? Maybe they're hurting.
But I think they have shown the signs. I think they have. Think about this just for a minute. You have a company that had their interest rates for staking on their platform at a very solid rate for a year, and they cut it. And then it held solid for another year. And then they cut it again. And then they did tiered rewards. And then they cut it again. And then they did a new set of tier rewards. All 4 of those changes happened within a month or two. I think that they're having a problem of scale right now, where they're getting more users. In fact, I think they announced not too long ago that they finally hit 50 million users on their platform, which is no small number. And I just don't think they can scale with those interest rates, which is why they cut it all back. But does that mean positive or negative on the balance sheet? I don't know.
So obviously we're not sponsored by Crow or Crpyto.com.
I wish we were.
Yet. So if you're out there listening, go ahead, give us a call. But I don't know. I've used their platform. It's a little clunky to me. I don't particularly like the way that they run their business over the last year and a half or 2 years. I don't know.
Well, we're not getting a sponsorship now.
Well, obviously, but hopefully they'll listen to what I got to say and make some adjustments. But yeah, I don't know. What was my other one? Link? Was that what you went with?
Matic.
Matic. Oh man. Well, at least Matic, I could stake it and earn a percentage until
you can stake Crow.
Yeah, but I don't have to stake Link on Crpyto.com, and if Matic. I stake Crow, dang, Matic. Yeah, can I change it to Link? Yeah, I'd rather stake Matic on a different platform than stake Crow on Crpyto.com.
I think you can stake Crow on other platforms. Can you not? I think it's large enough in market cap that other people have picked it up.
Well, to answer your question is I'm more of a believer in Matic.
Okay.
Even though I will say I just closed the short that I had on Matic. So I did short it, but I do like I like Matic and I like what they're doing there. So my answer would be Matic, but I don't know. I could watch the things unfurl. I think that with these other platforms, I don't think we've seen all the problems come out with them yet. So,
I think we have time for you to hit me with one. Would you rather?
One.
It's time to wrap this up.
I've got a list that's so long.
Hit me with your best shot.
Would you rather long helium? Now we've discussed helium miners in the past, using helium miners. You've looked at getting a helium miner. You've debated this for a long time, back and forth. Would you rather long helium or short Bitcoin? Because you said you'd go long with it.
Here's the problem. Helium mining has become widespread. And now the rewards to the miners have been diluted so heavily that I think the hype behind it is dying. But at the same time, the network is built, right? So we have a problem with the sentiment towards helium, but then the network is in place. And with Bitcoin, like I said, I believe in the $20,000 support. Can it break it? Sure. Will it do it soon? No idea. But I don't like longing things. I don't like shorting things. I don't like doing margin with things very much right now. And with all that considered, Could I see helium going up with the market? Yes. So it becomes do I short or long the market to me instead of do I short and long one versus the other? And with everything going on right now, I ain't longing it. So surprisingly, the answer would be to short Bitcoin.
Wow.
I think I could see Bitcoin dropping down into the 16 to 18,000 range, no issue over the next month or two. And I would be okay with that because, again, I'm just trying to build in my bankroll and dollar cost average into Bitcoin. I'm not trying to buy it now and make all my money on it right now. I'm still hoping that it goes up from here, but I think it's more likely to see some more downside than to see the market get longed on, because the longs that we play with, we have 7, 14, and 28-day loans. And in the next 28 days, unless some big news comes out, it's not long.
Well, it sounds to me like what you're saying is you think that there's a greater chance of Bitcoin dropping 20% so that you could clip it for 20% than you see helium going up 20% in the next however long, near term, 28 days.
Yeah. I see the market in general moving downward or staying flat over the next 28 days versus any significant upside. And if I'm wrong, I'm happy because I'm dollar cost averaging in. And if I'm right, well, I'm okay because I'm going to dollar cost average in. So either way, I'm content.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it for our initial podcast here. Hey guys, stay with us. We'll be back in a couple of days, and we'll let you know where we're at on our challenge. Stay with us. I'm Al.
I'm Craig.
And this is Crpyto BS.